We're an Arctic company with a polar bear on the tail. And our type of flying is the real flying. We don't go from a paved runway to a paved runway.
Canadian North is probably the most versatile airline in North America. We can go into remote areas and navigate our aircraft in areas of compass unreliability. We can land on gravel strips.
The purpose of Canadian North is to provide and ensure that there is ongoing, reliable, safe air transportation throughout both the Northwest Territories and Nunavut.
To Northerners, we're the primary link to the South. In a typical day at Canadian North, we can have our 737 combis going to a diamond mine with passengers and foodstuffs. We take them to the South if they need medical appointments. We take oil and gas and mining people north.
The airplanes are ideally suited for the application that Canadian North has because combi capability that both the Dash 8 and the 737 have.
Probably the biggest thing that we deal with on a day-to-day basis is weather. We can have a beautiful day in Calgary where we can have freezing rain in Yellowknife and drizzle and low ceilings, and we can have a blizzard in Rankin Inlet, and we can have clear and cold in Iqaluit, and we can have fog at St. John's. And one of the big challenges is staying on top of all of it.
If we had a situation where, for example, a flight couldn't get in because of poor weather, the operational control people or OCC people would determine the contingencies.
Our commitment to safety at Canadian North is paramount.
So we've installed things like the universal UNS-1F flight management system. A glide slope is presented to us and we simply fly down a pipe right to the runway. It leaves us a very wide margin. We've also installed terrain avoidance warning systems, TAWS, in our aircraft. It's a system that has the entire world database in it for terrain. So the aircraft always knows where it is, where it's going, and it'll constantly compare the altitude you're at and the heading you're at versus the terrain that's around the aircraft. We've also put multifunction displays in our aircraft so that you can take a non-electronic cockpit like a Boeing 737-200 and have a moving map display. We've used certain non-technology tools as well to try to minimize risk and try to minimize errors. Things like an altitude awareness program. We've looked at the industry worldwide and picked the best aspects of various airlines' attempts to prevent altitude excursions. Through technology, through management, we've made it state-of-the-art to try and eliminate risk.
We have departments in both flight operations, in-flight, and airports that are dedicated to training our crews and personnel to the highest level possible.
Thank you. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Our crews are all trained in grid navigation and tested every year. With our captains, we have a rigorous program to upgrade. We always look for total time. We look at the performance of the individual, the individual's ability to manage and multitask. Our training program is well above Transport Canada's minimum level. Those are the kind of things that our departments do, because safety is our #1 concern. So to make it through to a captain at Canadian North, you're capable of doing the job.
At Canadian North, we follow the SOPs. We're extremely strict about it. Because of where we operate, we demand it. Some pilots have not made it here. If I'm not comfortable with somebody, they won't be flying for us. Simple as that.
The maintenance programs are tailor-made to ensure reliability and safety in the kinds of environments that we operate.
We're responsible to ensure that the maintenance program is maintained on the aircraft and that all the mandatory requirements are also maintained on the aircraft. Those mandatory requirements being airworthiness directives, directives from Transport Canada, from the FAA. We go far and beyond what's just the minimum requirements. We have everything from a daily check, once a month approximately we'll do an A check, once every 3 months we'll do a B check, and then we'll also do heavy maintenance. We've done everything well and above the minimum. We ensure that the first priority is safety of the aircraft.
So we're putting the best technology possible in our aircraft. We maintain them to a high standard, and we select the best people and we train them well above minimum Transport Canada standards.
Canadian North's well positioned to capitalize on the opportunities that exist in the North because of its history and its reputation for safety, reliability, and there are very few carriers in the country that have that expertise. And the growth potential, I think, continues to be in the oil sands development. There's no current signs that that activity will diminish. We are poised to serve some new clients coming on board now and still others in the wings that we know have aspirations for the oil sands.
We'll look at an opportunity, we'll ensure we've got the resources not only in equipment but in personnel, and then we'll decide, okay, we're going to grow in that segment. It could be schedule, it could be cargo, it could be charter, but we always apply that test to it.
We exist for 3 reasons. The first is to make a profit. The second is to ensure that we have a safe and reliable air transportation link to and from the North. And third, to ensure that we promote the beneficial shareholder employment and career development program.
We have really put together a very strong team at Canadian North that I can honestly say, if I were to walk out the door tomorrow, someone else could walk into my shoes, and that's an important thing in a business like ours.
I can always comfortably load my wife and children up on one of our flights with no matter what the weather is, what the destination is, or who's flying, and be 100% confident in the abilities of the crew.